Hello everybody, this is Chris. Welcome. How are you guys? It's been a long time. I've been sick and that's why I've been out of action for a few days. My voice is still a bit iffy, but hopefully you guys can hear me well. So let's get to work. I'm gonna start screen sharing so we can see what's what with the latest contest. Let's get to it. There you go. Right. So again, I was basically sick, out with a cold. I'm still a bit sick, but I really want to show you guys the latest contest. This has been going on for about a week and a half, and the goal was to make sure that you guys really make sure that you get the idea, was to create a post that shows off the ingredients of the products. So that was the main idea, show off the ingredients. Now here are all the entries, and again this is for $20, but more than the money, it's about the experience. So I'm gonna start analyzing them. Please let me know in the general channel if the quality is good, if the audio is fine, because again I have an older setup here, an older microphone, so I would really want to make sure that everything is in order. So please let me know in the general chat. Now again, the idea was to create a social media post that showcases all the ingredients from this particular product. And basically it contains mango, cherries and chia seeds. So only 3 ingredients basically. Now let's get to it and let's analyze them one by one. Now the first one, you can see that the logo isn't cut off correctly. It has a black background, so that doesn't look all that great. It's also quite small. If you zoom out and if you can imagine this on your phone, you can see that the logo really doesn't make sense at that size. Now more than that, the idea was to visually represent the ingredients, to show them off, right? I don't think I was all that clear regarding having to showcase them in a visual manner, but if you check out all the other entries, you can probably tell that most people got it. So this right here, this is just an overlay. It's not a bad overlay, but it's just an overlay. And one tip, if you really want to do something with a low opacity, make sure you don't overlap it with another one. So you can see here, this part right here, this rectangle, that's basically an overlap. This doesn't look all that great. So all in all, this design, unfortunately, it misses the mark. It doesn't follow the scope of the project. And that's to showcase the ingredients. It just lists them, and obviously just the list isn't good enough, so we're gonna eliminate it just like that. Let's actually make this just a bit smaller. Okay, there you go. So let's move on to the next one. Now this one I quite like in terms of the idea behind it, right? You can see that we have 3 levels here, and I quite like the colors and how the idea behind this post is how it's presented basically. I mean, red, black and yellow, that's gonna make an impact. Even if you zoom way out, you can still see that this makes a big impact. It catches your eye. So yeah, basically it's really interesting. I don't actually have a new studio. This is actually my kitchen. I moved. I'm sick. I moved. There's a lot of things that's been going on, but I won't bore you with personal stuff. I'm not sure if you're interested in that, so I'm just gonna keep it clean, and we're gonna focus on the actual design. So again, the idea here is quite nice. In terms of execution, it's not really all that great, to be honest. This text right here, it's incredibly small. The logo is basically non-existent. Just as a fun fact, let's have a look. This is 18 by 18. So again, in 2021, nearly 2022, showcasing an icon that's 18 by 18 in a 1200 pixel, I believe. Let's see, 1200, no, 1080 by 1080. So again, it's ridiculous, right? It's way too small. So because of that, really, that's a bad mark there. I love the font. I love the white, the chunkiness of the text. I think again, overall, this is a pretty solid one. It's not well executed, but the idea, I really have to commend you for that. So hats off for the idea. The execution needs a bit more work. So I'm not going to eliminate it, but it's not my absolute favorite in terms of execution. Now this one, the designer really took a giant leap of faith, and he actually used the Romanian version of the text, which is totally awesome. This shows that you're actually invested in the project. So I really appreciate that. It's really something that's really gonna score you some points. So I really appreciate the fact that you copy pasted the text from the website. Now the second thing, what this designer did, he made his life quite tough, but I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that because, you know, it's one thing to actually, you know, just do the easy thing, and it's another thing to go the extra mile. So you can see here that he actually spent quite a lot of time to actually find bananas and chocolate and cashew and whatever. So this, believe it or not, is incredibly difficult because most of the time these don't match. I mean, sure, the banana may be fantastic, but then you can't find the chocolate that matches this style. So because of that, that's quite tricky to do. So again, whoever made it, I commend you for it. It's totally awesome. It's fantastic. So again, I appreciate the effort. The trouble with it is that I don't recommend this type of approach. I don't recommend it simply because you won't find a lot of resources for free. If you have a subscription on FreePick, totally fine, right? It's quite nice. But you'll still have to invest heavily, at least 2 hours into making sure that these match up, both in terms of size but also in terms of style. So yeah, that's something to be said about it. So I appreciate it. I think it looks quite nice. But yeah, I think if I were to execute this project, I would probably do something like this. I would probably use some rectangles and then I would just use some clipping masks. Because again, that's the easiest thing, you know, finding a nice photo of some cherries, of some honey, of some mango, and then just add them there with a white border, and that's basically that. That's how I would do it. So again, this is quite nice. This is much better executed than this one, but the left one is far more flexible. So if I come around and say, okay, I love it, do the same thing for the 15 of my products, right? For every one of them, right? This is quite flexible. This isn't. This requires a ton more work. Now again, this one on the right is much more polished, much more refined, but it does take what, 5 times as longer. So yeah, the investment in time is huge. Now this one, unfortunately, this isn't my taste. Again, it misses the mark. It doesn't showcase the products, the ingredients, I'm sorry. It doesn't show the ingredients. The text isn't all that nice, to be honest. So I think this is a miss. Unfortunately, I think you should try again. You can really take inspiration from these two. I think these are two different paths that you can explore. So because of that, I'm gonna eliminate this one and I'm gonna move on to this one. And I intentionally included both options. You had the possibility to submit 3 entries. And here's the thing, as a client, I don't really like this type of game where it's basically find Waldo. It's basically spot the differences between the left and the right. So this type of thing is something that clients typically hate because at a glance, you're not sure what are the differences. Again, to be fair, this pattern right here isn't shown here. This is a different type of pattern. It's something extremely subtle. I think this maybe has 1% opacity or something like that. But yeah, that's basically the only difference. So this has a visible pattern. This has an invisible pattern. That's it. Again, please don't do this. When you submit multiple entries, make sure that they are as different as possible. So the idea behind multiple entries is to do a version like this, so a template version that you can easily swap out and change, and a version like this. So that's the whole idea behind bullets in a contest environment. You don't want to fire off the same design over and over. You want to make sure that one design is feminine, one design is masculine. One has a red background, one is a blue background or whatever. So significantly different, right? Okay. By the way, do you like my shirt? This is my Udemy Teach and Learn shirt, and I quite like it. I'm not sure if you can see both the text, both the words here, but it says Teach and Learn. Okay, back to it. I'm gonna eliminate one just because again it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to submit it. Now this one, I like how Chia is written. I love this font. You have to tell me what this font what the font family is, because I absolutely love it, and you guys should totally steal it. I think it's worth stealing. Quite nice, quite awesome. I don't think the leaves make a whole lot of sense. We don't have any green in the design, and I do think that's a bit of a mistake. And I do think that leaving this, you know what, I think this actually may be a template. I think this is a template that was edited. And come to think of it, I didn't receive the free pick links, and that's something that I asked for. So, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use this this pink. We have the orange right here. You know the orange from the logo, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use this type of fuchsia, of pink, of whatever you want to call it. So that's a bit strange. Now the next thing, do these three photos actually do a good job in representing the ingredients? I don't think so, actually. I would much rather see something like this. I think, you know, just showcasing them, you know, from a physical standpoint, you know, this is whatever, 500 pixels by 200 pixels. Whereas here we have what? 40 by 40, right? So just in terms of size, they're just way too small. Now I see that you added some seeds here. To be honest, these don't look like chia seeds, but we'll leave it past that. We can go past that. But yeah, the ingredients, unfortunately, they don't shine. They don't show off as much as they should. So because of that, even though I love the font, I love this this typeface here. I think this is Bebas. Even though I quite like it, and I love the overall layout, the website here on the top left, the logo on the right, these are the balanced. This again as a whole, you can see that this is one unit here, and I quite appreciate the fact that everything is nicely aligned. So this is a skilled designer, but unfortunately your choice isn't all that great in terms of the size of these components. I would much rather like to see them at a bigger size, because again the ingredients should be the stars here, and again just 40, that's not enough. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to eliminate you, but again this is a good designer, and it's a pretty good a good attempt. Now this one here, a bit too much all caps, and it's not centered. I appreciate the mango here, quite big. You can see the issue though, you know, you can see that the jar seems like it's sitting on this mango. So again, this is the type of problem I wanted to showcase. This is why I did this contest specifically, because it's incredibly difficult to actually match a cut-off product, right? You just have it isolated, or maybe you're gonna cut its background. It's so difficult to actually find fruits that match. And as you can see here, it just doesn't match. Plus the seeds here, the perspective is way off. The seeds, this is a top to bottom view, whereas the rest is maybe at a 45-degree angle. You can see the jar here that it's slightly tilted. So yeah, unfortunately this doesn't work. Unfortunately, sorry to say that this doesn't work. There are other mistakes here and there, but yeah, overall, just zooming out, I believe the color choices, your font use, it's not up to par. So even though this may be neck and neck with this one, at least this one stands out because of these strong colors. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to eliminate you. Now here's the next one. Chocolate, papaya, and then whatever these guys are, goji berries or whatever. So okay, this is pretty good. I can't say that I like the background. I'm not sure why you chose this particular shade of background. But yeah, the same problem here. So the jar seems like it's standing on the chocolate bowl, and the papaya fruit, it's absolutely massive. It's huge, it's ginormous. So no client is actually gonna accept this type of entry simply because the proportions are way off. It's like, you know, making a Coke can as big as a car inside the banner. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Usually you should stay away from that type of stuff. So leaving that aside, leaving the proportions aside, I can say that I like the all caps treatment here at the top and the left alignment. I can't say that I like the background. So yeah, all in all, unfortunately I think I'm gonna have to eliminate you as well. It's not bad, but it's not great. Okay, now this one, you can immediately see that the background, at least to me, makes a whole lot of sense, because again, the white plate, I think, you know, the contrast, it really stands out. But I think that's where the good news stops. The font is, again, 3 lines in all caps. I don't recommend it. All caps has to be short and sweet, you know, just do it, or something like that. So just a few words. Again, Nike, just do it. So you need to have 3, 4, at the most 5 words, and you have to make sure that it's short and sweet. Now, this part right here unfortunately doesn't match. In all my courses, I talk about all caps and that you shouldn't use it in this type of environment. So yeah, because of that, this is quite a big minus. Now the next thing, the almonds, you can clearly see that they have been edited, that they have been placed here. Then again, the different type of perspective. So yeah, again, the whole point of this contest is to make sure that you guys understand that you shouldn't do this type of thing. It's much better to go for the classier look. If I were to create something of my own, I would probably do it something like this. Just some random ideas. So let's go with something like this. So I would probably do a grid of this nature, and then the product would probably be somewhere around this region, right? So something along these lines. So again, a photo of the product here, just 200, and then the actual ingredients here, just a clipping mask, and that's that. And obviously you can do you know, an ellipse here, a semicircle. You can do various things here, but yeah, overall I would much rather go for something like this. Now back to it. I think I'm gonna keep this one, even though it has quite a lot. No, I'm sorry. No, I changed my mind. I can't keep it. I removed others which had fewer mistakes. So yeah, I'm gonna eliminate that one as well. Now let's have a look at this one. So yeah, this type of thing, it may work. You know, a pattern. I mean, it may work, but are you gonna find the pattern for every single fruit? Are you gonna find the pattern for the, you know, for the just about everything? I doubt it. And the pattern has one major problem: you don't have enough contrast. And because of that, this text right here doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's muddy, it's, you know, black, black on this shade of yellow, teal, whatever this is. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to eliminate it. It doesn't do a good job in actually representing the ingredients. This one, okay, quite dark. The jar does stand out. I do appreciate this curved line. I think that's quite nice. I'm not really sure, to be honest, what this is. Is this a cherry? I'm not sure what this is. I think this should be a cherry, but the inside looks like a mango. So yeah, I'm not really sure. The chia seeds are nicely integrated, so I do appreciate how this is integrated. But yeah, this is a major question mark for me. And yeah, the dark blue background doesn't make a whole lot of sense with this type of color. Again, I'm not sure why you guys chose these types of colors that don't make a whole lot of sense. I'm guessing from the mango, but again, the difference in nuance is night and day. My advice: pure white for the text, pure white for this top part, maybe pure white for this bottom part as well. If it's not that type of pure white, just go with something really light, maybe pink, maybe a neutral gray, but not this type of green or whatever this is, green / yellow / whatever this is. So I'm gonna keep this one for the layout and for the whole concept, because again, I think this is quite nicely done. Again, I'm not a fan of actually adding the mango inside the cherry, but yeah, overall it's a pretty good idea. And the final one, quite nice. Okay, the background is a bit cleaner. I see that you tried to add some shadows here, some drop shadows, which is again quite difficult. Basically, you did what this guy tried to do here, this designer. Quite a lot of effort behind it. I appreciate the effort. I think it's decently done. It's not out of this world, but it's decently done. The slogan, it doesn't actually seem to be centered. Let's have a look. No, it's not centered, so that's a pretty big execution mistake. But yeah, overall, I think I'm gonna keep it as well. Okay, so we have 4 in total. Ugh, very hard to choose. Let's see, we only have a handful of people here, so it seems that I'm gonna have to make a decision on my own, unfortunately. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the one that makes the whole. I think I'm gonna go with the. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the one that I may actually use, and that's this one here. I think this one is the winner. This one is gonna get the W, and that's because this, as it stands, I think I may actually use it. You know, it's something that may actually work. So this is gonna be the winner. Let's actually make it just a bit bigger, because this is the closest thing to an actual image that I could potentially use. This one needs a bit more work. Again, you know, when you do this type of thing, you should really do the following. If this part is whatever 200 pixels, this other part should be 200 pixels as well. But as it stands, it seems like you just chose random sizes for the rectangles. So yeah, that's not cool. This one, again, the colors don't really make a whole lot of sense. The mango is oddly integrated. This one, although it's a bit better, overall, yeah, you know, just a few things that don't really make a whole lot of sense. This seems like an afterthought. If you were to put, you know, the website here to balance it out, yeah, sure, then. But yeah, again, if we're gonna go down that route, you know, everything can be improved. So yeah, this guy is the winner. So congratulations, hopefully you're in the chat. If not, that's not a problem. You've just won $20. But more than that, again, I have to commend you for actually putting the work in, because this takes a whole lot of time. So I quite appreciate it. Let's see if the guy is actually here. Font name, something fresh. So I'm very happy to tell you guys that this is that's the font's name. Is the winner here? It doesn't seem like that's the case. But yeah, no matter, congratulations, you did a great job. Again, I'm sorry guys that I've been out for the... Oh, Dolan, congratulations. I'm very happy that you won. I'm sorry that I actually was out of action for quite some time, for about 2 weeks. But yeah, things have been hectic, a lot of things on the personal end. But I'm not gonna bore you with it, at least not right now, when my neck isn't all that great. But yeah, thank you guys so much for participating, and I hope I'm gonna see you in the next contest. We're gonna do another one for next Sunday. We're gonna see. I'm open to ideas. If you guys have any suggestions, hit me up in the general channel, and that's gonna be that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Chris signing out. Stay healthy, stay with positive vibes.